Can somebody please tell me why anyone reports anything ever? I'm Glenn Naughton with Jet Nation Radio, jetnation.com. Be sure to log on to jetnation.com where you can register and become a part of what is the most active Jets message board on the web. So the Jets have come to terms with a deal with Hassan Reddick on a new deal, a readjusted deal. I literally woke up 5 minutes ago and saw this and thought, we got to talk about it. I'm scrolling through the Twitter feed and I don't see anything in terms of any details on the length of the deal. Maybe I'll come across it. But I did just see something from SNY. This just came across their feed. The Jets and Hassan Reddick have reached an agreement on an adjusted contract. Reddick will report to the team facility on Monday morning. Of course, he'll miss another game. The Jets have agreed to waive $12 million in fines, according to Adam Schefter. Have we not been hearing for the past 3, 4, however many months that his fines can't be forgiven? That these are required by the NFLPA, and the Jets have no say in whether or not the fines take place? Literally, I've not heard a single pundit, expert, insider, agent, anyone, every single person I've listened to on this topic has said these fines are mandatory, required, no way around them, blah, blah, blah. Unless, the Jets could have built it into the contract that he can, earn it back based on, easily earned, expected to be earned incentives or easily earned incentives. But that's not what, at least this is the headline. Maybe the headline's wrong. Like I said, I just clicked it. I just read it. I mean, it says the Jets have agreed to waive $12 million in fines. I mean, could you be a bigger doormat if that's the case? If you're the New York Jets, this guy just dragged you for 7, 8 weeks of football. After you traded for him, you got nothing out of him. And all anyone's telling us is these fines aren't going anywhere because they can't. And the Jets just, here's your $12 million back, Hassan. Thank you so very much. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. Here we are as the fans expecting the people who get paid a lot of money to report on this stuff to have some idea what they're talking about. And nope, I didn't hear one person come out and say, I don't know what all this talk is about fine, not being able to forgive fines. Of course they can forgive the fines. I didn't hear one person say that. So guess what, folks? The Jets can apparently forgive the fines. And they did. So now Hassan Reddick, no fine. Sit out for 7 weeks. And I said before the Buffalo game that in all honesty, I wasn't sure there was a single game this year that the Jets lost because of Hassan Reddick not being present. Because the offense was the problem. The defense without him was absolutely fine, was absolutely good enough to win games. It was the offense that wasn't scoring. Then the Buffalo game happened, and Michael Clemens happened, and you think, you know what? I think that Buffalo game they might have won that. They would have a much better chance if they had somebody like Hassan Reddick. And how do you not get this done sooner? I literally had this thought yesterday. I'm sitting at work, and I think to myself, how is Drew Rosenhaus gets brought in to get this deal done? They get the opportunity to trade. And I said this on our show the other day. It's not like NFL teams don't have Drew Rosenhaus' number. All 31 teams that Hassan Reddick was not under contract with knew that he was available and that Rosenhaus was representing him. How long does it take to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, we're interested? It took them, 4 days, 5 days for them to figure out, okay, he's not going to. And listen, you know what? Maybe they knew quicker, and maybe it took a few days to get it done with the Jets. I don't know. All I know is what was that all about, Hassan Reddick? Well, let's be honest. We haven't seen the numbers, but I have a feeling he's going to come back. Not Lowy, you can make the case they need him now. I'm saying up until the Buffalo game, they were fine without him. The Buffalo game was the first game they lost where you're like, damn, if you had Hassan Reddick, you might have won that game. Gave up 1 touchdown to Buffalo. How many points did the defense give up to Minnesota? 13? Defense was not the problem. It was the offense. But, that again, that's not to say, I'm not saying he doesn't make the team better. I'm not saying they don't need him moving forward. I'm saying up until that point, not having him wasn't a factor. But now they have him. How motivated is he going to be? I have no idea. He could do the fake pulled hamstring thing day one. I suspect he won't, because he wants to get paid. But I mean, he's the Jets, man. I mean, they just got really dog walked by this guy and Rosenhaus. What a I'm gonna pop on here. Let's see what SNY says. Let's see the full story. Just says agreed to adjusted contract, which it doesn't. It keeps saying that, so I'm guessing that means 1 year deal, like just the rest of this year. Um, let's see. New York has agreed to waive more than 12 million in fines of the money of the fines that cannot be waived, folks. The fines that are mandatory, required by the NFLPA, the collective bargaining agreement, that the Jets don't have an option that they can't waive. They're waiving 12 million of that, in case you were wondering. Our goal is continue to work towards a long-term deal, says Drew Rosenhaus. Yeah, shocker. Agent wants money. Headline, story at 11. Acquired from Philly, blah blah blah. Pardon me here. Well, I'm waiting for it to say what exactly is happening in terms of how much money is he actually getting. And yeah, nothing. And this is, like I said, I know I just got up, but this story is apparently a couple of hours old, and there's nothing nothing meaningful there. But listen, I said it the other day. I tweeted out, if you look at expectations versus reality, we were expecting the defensive line on the day the Jets traded for Hassan Reddick. Jets fans, well, me and I'm sure other Jets fans, looked at that roster and said, Hassan Reddick, and we're adding him to Quinton Williams and John Franklin Myers and Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald. Like, that top five is awesome. And you were hopeful for Javon Kinlaw, which not so much right now. And what happens? They turn around, they throw JFM in the trash. Jermaine Johnson gets hurt. Quinton Williams has been ineffective. And listen, the Quinton thing, we'll touch on that in a second. And Will McDonald's been good, but that you've had one pass rusher. Jermaine gets hurt. It's been a disaster. All these guys that we thought, again, when you traded for Reddit, we already thought they're going to be able to send pass rushers in waves. As much as they sub in and out, they're always going to have at least one really good pass rusher on the field. Whether it's teaming JFM with Quinton or teaming McDonald with Reddick or JJ with any combination, you pick it. That was the expectation. JJ gets hurt after you gave JFM away, and Will McDonald, like I said, getting the job done. Quinton Williams, it's a bizarre thing as the box, because of the box scores, a lot of people are trashing him, and there is some stuff on film that isn't great, that isn't Quinton Williams. He acknowledged as much this week, talking to the press, that he has to be more disruptive at the line of scrimmage. But I don't have a problem with people saying Quinton Williams isn't playing up to his standard, because he's not. But I've seen a lot of people just say, Quinton Williams sucks. Quinton Williams, because Jets fans this year have been kind of crazy. It seems even crazier than usual. Jumping ship so quick on guys, like a couple weeks into the season, and I see people, questioning Sauce, questioning Quinton, questioning Brees and Garrett, like, because the team's losing, largely due to the offensive line. The offensive line that, as we've mentioned many times, played 0 reps together in the preseason. Not a single one, Robert Saleh. But this D line, or this Quinton Williams in particular, for a guy who people claim is so terrible, he's still, and I'm not using this as an excuse for his lack of production, because for what he makes, he's got to beat double teams. Let's say more often than he does. He's got to beat the doubles more often than he does, but he's being doubled on 60% of snaps, which is, I believe, 5th or 6th in the NFL. That's that's exactly what I was just about to say, Rob. Or I said it as you typed it out there. Quinton Williams is getting doubled 60% of the time. And again, I'm not excusing the lack of production. I'm saying, do you really think NFL offensive coordinators are double teaming the guy 60% of the time who sucks? I mean, you can try to neutralize John Franklin Myers. If Quinton Williams sucks, just go one-on-one with him and use 2 guys on Will McDonald and neutralize him. He's the only guy who's productive. He's the only guy who's consistently getting to the passer. Yet he's still seeing single teams because Quinton is consistently drawing double teams. So again, I'm not excusing his lack of production, but listen, end of the day, as dumb as all of this was, as pointless as all of this was, I have a gut feeling Hassan Reddick is going to be playing for a number that's really close to what he was already playing for. But now he gets his money back because the Jets doormats, just handed back all the fines, no penalty basically. Hassan Reddick gets an extended vacation, an extended paid vacation, while the Jets are struggling to win football games. So it is what it is. The Jets, at the end of the day, now that the dust has settled, are a better football team than they were yesterday. Will he stay healthy? Don't know. Is he going to need a couple of weeks to be ready to play? To play more than a handful of snaps? Don't know. What kind of we don't know what kind of shape he's in. And again, we don't know how interested he is in playing. This could be another move that blows up in their face, like so many others. I mean, Javon Kinlaw. See him laughing on the sidelines the other day. By the way, I can't remember if I covered that yet in a pod, but I see stuff like that. I'm like, man, the NFL has changed so much. That dude's getting back-breaking, game-costing penalties, and he jogs off to the sideline. He's yucking it up, laughing with his teammates. I'm like, damn, man. Here we are, the fans. We see videos of people throwing stuff through their televisions and having complete psychological breakdowns. Not that I'm saying that's an okay thing. But you see how wrapped up in this team's success that and any team, any NFL team, diehard fans, they get so wrapped up in how well their team performs, and they get so emotional, and they care. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. They care about whether or not the team performs well. And then you see a guy on the team making like however much money he's making a year and like laughing that like he just cost the team a game potentially. It's wild, man. It's wild. But the Kinlaw thing hasn't worked out so far. I think DT is an early target come draft time. I think we're talking quarterback, wide receiver, defensive tackle, not necessarily in that order. But if I had to put money on it today, I would say that's the order we see the Jets go in the draft because they don't have anyone good behind Quinton Williams. Give me Deion Walker out of Kentucky. Give me either of the Michigan DTs, but they'll be gone before. Well, yeah, they'll be gone before the Jets pick. Anyway, that'll wrap this one up. Hassan Reddick is under contract. He will take another night off tonight, miss another game. I'm sure the Jets will reimburse that money too, whatever he would have been fined for tonight. Maybe even give him double just because. Reddick will be a Jet. He'll be at work Monday. NFL's losing fans every year, says Don. Players don't have any standards. Are they really though, Don? And I'm not being facetious or sarcastic. I don't know if the fans. I mean, we're constantly seeing bigger numbers in ratings, whether it's prime time, playoffs, Super Bowl, whatever it is. Every year the ratings go up. They're not really losing fans. They are. I mean, listen. A movie was made about how they covered up concussions, and NFL fans were like, "When's the next game? When's kickoff? I don't give a damn. I don't care what they're doing to these guys' brains. I don't care. I just want football." And I think the NFL saw that and they went, pretty much untouchable. There's nothing we can't do that won't be forgiven as long as we show up and play games on Sundays. Rob says Pittsburgh's a short flight. If Hassan was a team guy, not continuing to have his character questioned, he should be on the field supporting. I don't expect that. I guess it'd be nice, but no. Oh, let's talk Mets Yankees, shall we? Rob, thanks for reminding me. Chris Schubert, Dylan Terraman were talking a little bit about baseball the other day. Little background on my baseball fandom. I don't really discuss it on the show because I'm not anymore. From 87 to about 15 years ago. For most of that time, baseball was my favorite sport. I grew up in the Bronx. Used to take the D train to Yankee Stadium, sit out in the bleachers before. I guess they're numbered now. Now you get like they tell you where to sit in the bleachers. That didn't used to be a thing. And yeah, every time I can get $20 in my pocket, that paid for a bleacher ticket, a train ticket, and a dog and a drink, as a kid. And love the Yankees. Over the years, though, baseball got worse and worse, less entertaining. Being in England, like the Jets kicking games off at 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning, like they will tonight, once a week, fine, no big deal. When every game starts at anywhere from 1 to 6 a.m., no, that's not that made it difficult to watch games. But still, for like 10 years being overseas, I would listen and I would tune in and just catch whatever. This is when the internet was fairly new, when streaming was garbage and the connection would be terrible trying to get the Yankee games, but I still listened. But yeah, once it was like sort of bringing back A-Rod because he was such a trash human. Um, Games starting at 1, 2 in the morning, games taking 4 hours. Um, it just stopped being fun. It did, and I stopped watching. Lost interest. But I'm happy now that the Yankees. Well, I'm happy for the Yankees just because for 20 some years they were like one of the biggest parts of my life. But Mets fans too. I hope the Mets make it to the World Series. I can't bring myself to it's even though I don't care about baseball, I can't bring myself to say I hope the Mets beat the Yankees because that's not the case. I can't say that. But if the Mets were to win, I have a lot of Mets fans friends who I'd be very happy for. Yankees fans have been very blessed. We've seen a lot of championships. Depending on how old you are, I became a Yankee fan in 87. So from 87 to whatever, 2005, 2009, maybe around 2009, I stopped watching 2010, whatever it was. We've seen a ton of rings, and I have some friends who, they saw the one in 86 when they were like 10 years old, but it's been a long time for them. So I can't root against the Yankees, but I can be happy for Mets fans if the Mets pull it off. Because hey, I want my friends to get a little bit of that feeling too. Because we sure as hell aren't getting it on the gridiron. We're the Jets. But yeah, the Yankees going to the series. The Mets got to get there first. The Dodgers, I think they're up 3-2. Again, I don't pay very close. I see my baseball knowledge at this point in my life is what I see as I scroll Twitter, and it's stuff that I catch by accident because I don't seek it out at all. Boring game. They've ruined it. They don't steal bases anymore. My understanding. I don't know if anyone's bunted since I stopped watching in 2005, or 2000 whatever. Small ball went away. Everyone loves home runs, but I love small ball too. I love sack bunt, suicide squeeze, stealing bases, taking an extra base. All this, like, the lineup is made out by a computer, and it's not good anymore. Anyway, that's enough on baseball. Good luck to the Mets. Hope they make it to the World Series. I will actually watch. Well, I'll watch a little bit if the Yankees play the Mets in the World Series. And I will be watching tonight Jets Steelers, and next week when Hassan Reddick presumably makes his first start as a Jet. Have a good one, Jets fans.